Hello and welcome back. This is session 2 of module 3 on working with groups towards community development. So with this, we have the objectives to understand these things which we have discussed on the previous module, like the concept as to what is the public health nurse, the concept of the community, the different clientele groups of the community, the individual, the family, the population aggregates, the population, and the community itself. We also have new concepts like the education process within the community, as we will be needing education in the promotion of health. We'll also be tackling human and social ecology, as we will be looking into the different links that help establish community groups to promote self-reliance and independence within the community. We also have the COPAR, or the community organizing, participatory action and research, as well as health administration and quality management upon the development of programs for the health needs of the community. So these are the learning objectives that we'll be tackling today, and I hope that you will enjoy our discussion, our short discussion. Before we delve into the different concepts, I'd like you to recall our definition and our understanding about the community. On the previous module, we have discussed community as having requisites and health from the World Health. And we have combined both definitions as healthy communities, where that healthy communities are the fulfillment of the different requisites of health without the absence of any disease. There's also a different definition of a community from different authors, but most of it speaks of common unity, where if we combine both, it is community. It is a sense of commonality that promotes harmony within the community. Do you still remember those things? Okay. We start with our first concept, which is the public health nurse. We have discussed on the previous module, for you to become a public health nurse is that you should have finished the Bachelor of Science in Nursing curriculum and you have passed the boards, the Philippine Nurse Licensure Examination, that is needed for the entry level of public health nurses in the community or the Department of Health and the different local governments. Some would also require the need for membership in APOS, or your accredited professional organizations like your Philippine Nurses Association. For the public health practice, there is also a specific organization. There is an APO also specific to public health nursing, which is your NLPGN, or your National League of Philippine Government Nurses. If the nurse decides to continue towards advanced practice, and as we have discussed previously, the nurse should undergo postgraduate education like the master's and the doctorate degree, either a PhD or a professional doctorate. The nurse should also acquire an extensive professional experience in public health for him or her to ladderize up to higher positions and administrative positions. And there are also trainings and certifications which the nurse can acquire, especially on program trainings, for him or her to become the administrator of that program. Next, we have the different clienteles. Diba, nag-discuss na taning mga clienteles. We have the first one, which is the individual, or what you call, in terms of nursing care, we focused on the individual responses of the person to either a need, a disease condition, and we try to address that one with the nursing process, where we assess, we diagnose the individualized response, we plan and we implement our nursing actions. And lastly, we evaluate the different parts of that nursing process for us to pinpoint where can we improve our nursing care. We have the family, the different families within the community, and for the family, we'd be focusing on individuals, still on individuals, but the affectation of these individuals within the family as the smallest unit of the community as identified by Maglaya and Pamorca. And with this one, how would these families that comprise individuals with needs affect other families? That's why we transcend this practice to community health and public health practice. But within families and communities, there are population aggregates like women, and if you specify that one, the pregnant women. Those are population aggregates of women. And lastly, the community level, where we focus on a diversified practice where we look into culture, health service delivery, the different families, the different aggregates. And we have different approaches for that one, and we have discussed that one in Module 1. And on summary, the different types of nursing care for these clienteles would focus on the following. For the individual, it's individualized nursing care. For the family, it's family nursing care. And for the community and the population, it's your community-based nursing practice and your community-oriented nursing practice. We have tackled those on the previous module. So I hope that you still remember that one, and you can review that one by looking on to the different videos that I have uploaded. This is Stanhope's depiction of the different clienteles in the community. And if you look into the three divisions, there is letter A, which focuses on the entire box. She has identified that one as a community level. We also have B, where the box is divided into three population groups, and within those population groups are population aggregates, depending on your preference as to what is the population of focus for your nursing care. And within those population groups and population aggregates, there are families within those and individuals within those families. So this is a perfect depiction of how we look into the different clienteles of the community, according to Marcia Stanhope and Jean Lancaster. With this, we move to the education process on educating different clienteles within the community, because we cannot deny the fact that we will be encountering these different clienteles, the individual within the household upon our home visit, the families as well, and the different population aggregates if we cluster those people within the community space. And we need health education for health promotion. That's why if you can look into the depiction of the diagram, health promotion is connected with health education, because as we have identified on the definition, health promotion would simply speak, no, kanang simple understanding, would speak on having a sense of self-control over your health state. And with that one, you can acquire control if you are well educated about the disease, about the individual responses, about the different nursing care, about the different policies, about the different health services that you can acquire, which leads you to that attainment of health and wellness. And with the education process, we also tackle how people learn within the community. If you look into the diagram beside me, it's similar with your nursing process, having assessment where you identify the different areas of learning. And with that one, it should focus on the essential parts that is perceived by the individual or the different clienteles within the community as a need for them to learn. And that's what you call the felt needs of the population, because if they cannot perceive that one as a need for them to learn, they would not engage in the learning process within the community. We also set objectives and goals similar with our discussion today. You have course learning outcomes that after this discussion, you should acquire these things. It's similar with the education process in the community. What do we want to achieve? What are our goals after this session of education? And with those goals, we have different methodologies like face-to-face teaching, learning, education, the use of technology, the use of role-playing, the use of IEC materials, and the things that we have discussed in the nursing informatics, diba? We have discussed education with the use of nursing informatics. You can also use that one. And lastly is to evaluate the learning process, not only within the learning of the learner, but also the educator itself. Together, with a different process that has undergone within the three previous process that has undergone. Here are assumptions of learning within the community. According to Stanhope, learning happens through active involvement within the community because this is not a classroom setting where people would acquire a bachelor's degree and they are required to listen and pass the different exams. It's a different setting there. You need to involve those people on your goals and different objectives of the learning process. And we should avoid that presumption that they are like sponges, that they can acquire everything. Halaptak na lang og storya dayon bisag highfalutin na dili na ma-acquire sa imong client. The goal there is for them to learn as much as possible the different things that you impart to them to promote health or health promotion within the community. And with this one, we have these factors that learning from learners occur based on what they know. If some of them don't know these things, some would be resistant on learning. That's why if you go to the communities, on your adapted communities, some clients would say, manglabas ako, ay napamang ko'y gibuhat, because there is no urgency within them to attend those classes because they don't feel the need. That's why, as I always advise you, when you make health education classes within the community, you should always focus on the felt needs. What is important within the community, because that makes them more responsive to the different sessions that you will be conducting. Their belief also influenced this one, as well as their cultural preferences and practices. Some cultures would not practice this one, and if you come to remember, for those people having community exposure in Babag, where I think it's a community practice that they don't allow the conduct of health education sessions, especially on family planning on inside the chapel, because they may find it as offensive, and it's a common understanding within the community. So we should respect that, and that is a cultural thing that we should be considering when we are planning our educational sessions within the community. And lastly, as I've iterated earlier, if there is a sense of relationship within the topic, no? Kanang, if ako tiguang, why would I attend a family planning session where in fact I'm already menopause, my husband is dead or my wife is dead, and it doesn't make any sense. So when making these health education programs, you should be able to clearly identify the different participants of the educational sessions that you will be conducting, because as number 4 has stated, they should be able to relate to the topic for them to acquire that learning from you. And in summary, there should be a focus on the felt needs of the population. If wala ni na perceive sa population, if imo running perception as the grassroots worker in the community, it's not their needs anymore that you are addressing, it's your needs that you are addressing. That's why it wouldn't make sense if you make these educational sessions that is and are patterned to your needs. There would be a problem of program ownership on the latter part of community organizing, and they wouldn't learn anything. They will just be stuck with the things that they were used to, and you cannot impact change. And besides, the goal of community organizing is to promote change within the community, for them to level up on a step, 2 steps, 5 steps higher, if that's not very ambitious, but at least a step higher from their usual lives that has been a problem to them. So that one. The goal of community organizing is to impact change, promote change within the community by addressing and planning on the different felt needs of the population. And with this one, we have to consider the different ecologies within the community. This is an example of the social ecology that happens within the community. And I like to have this next video where I have collaborated with another YouTuber for us to understand what is social ecology, because it's a different paradigm on the nursing practice. But after the person's discussion within this video, we will try to understand the different things. So thank you for listening, and continue subscribing with the different activities under this session and under this module, and have a great day. Thank you.